Stephen Fulton was supposed to be the man who stopped Naoya Inoue, an undefeated champion. Bigger, longer, and one of the most skilled fighters in boxing. Many believed this would be Inoue's toughest test yet after moving up in weight. But before the night was over, Inoue would deliver a performance so dominant that he left no doubt who ruled the division and reminded the world why they call him the Monster. Why Fulton was so dangerous. Before the fight, many people believed Stephen Fulton would be Naoya Inoue's toughest challenge yet. He was undefeated, a unified world champion, and one of the most skilled fighters in the division. This wasn't supposed to be an easy fight. Fulton had earned a reputation as a complete boxer. He could fight at long range, he could adapt under pressure, and he consistently found ways to win against elite competition. Many experts believed his size, reach, and technical ability would create serious problems for Inoue. Some even questioned whether Inoue's power would carry up to a new weight class against a fighter this talented. On paper, Fulton looked like exactly the kind of opponent capable of stopping Inoue's momentum. The prediction seemed reasonable. Fulton had the skills, the confidence, and the championship experience. Most people expected a competitive battle between two elite fighters. Very few expected one man to take complete control. But that's exactly what was about to happen. Inoue's fast start. From the opening bell, Naoya Inoue looked completely comfortable. There was no hesitation, no feeling out process. He immediately began fighting at a pace that forced Fulton to stay alert. The challenger had arrived with confidence. Inoue started fast, but never reckless. He used sharp footwork to close the distance and landed clean shots whenever opportunities appeared. His jab was effective, his combinations were quick, and his pressure constantly pushed Fulton out of his comfort zone. The champion tried to establish his rhythm, but Inoue refused to let him settle. Every exchange seemed to happen on Inoue's terms. The speed difference was noticeable, and with each round, the challenger looked more dangerous. What made the start so impressive was how controlled it felt. Inoue wasn't chasing a knockout, he was building towards something bigger. He stayed patient, collected information, and slowly increased the pressure. Fulton remained competitive, but the momentum was already beginning to move toward Inoue, and that trend would only continue. Fulton starts feeling the pressure. As the fight moved into the middle rounds, the pressure started to build. Stephen Fulton was still competing well, but Naoya Inoue was beginning to take control of more and more exchanges. The momentum was slowly shifting. Inoue's game plan was becoming impossible to ignore. He consistently cut off the ring and prevented Fulton from fighting at his preferred distance. His jab kept finding the target. His combinations landed with increasing accuracy. Every time Fulton tried to establish his rhythm, Inoue disrupted it. The champion was forced to think constantly, forced to react, forced to adjust. And that pressure began taking away some of the advantages that had made Fulton so successful throughout his career. What made this stage of the fight so important was how subtle it looked. There wasn't a dramatic knockdown. There wasn't a major crisis yet. But Inoue was steadily gaining ground. Round after round, he looked more confident. And Fulton was starting to feel the weight of a fighter who never stopped applying pressure. How Inoue broke Fulton down. By the middle rounds, Naoya Inoue was doing something very few fighters had managed to do. He was slowly breaking Stephen Fulton down. Not with one punch, not with one big moment, but with constant pressure and perfect execution. Inoue's attack was becoming more effective with every round. His jab consistently found the target, His right hand forced Fulton to stay cautious, and his body shots slowly drained the champion's energy. Whenever Fulton tried to create space, Inoue closed the distance. Whenever Fulton attempted to establish rhythm, Inoue disrupted it. The challenger controlled where the fight took place and how the exchanges unfolded. Everything seemed to happen according to his plan. That's what made Inoue so dangerous. He wasn't chasing a desperate knockout. He was systematically taking away Fulton's options. Round after round, the pressure grew heavier. The champion was still fighting hard, but the fight was beginning to slip out of his control. And Inoue was only getting stronger. The beginning of the end. By the later rounds, the fight was starting to slip away from Stephen Fulton. He was still standing, still competing, but Naoya Inoue was taking complete control. The beginning of the end had arrived. Inoue's pressure was now overwhelming. He controlled the distance, he controlled the pace, and he continued landing the cleaner, more damaging shots. Fulton tried to respond, but every success was quickly answered. The champion spent more time defending than attacking. Meanwhile, Inoue looked stronger with every exchange. His confidence was growing. His combinations were becoming more aggressive, and the crowd could sense that something big was coming. This was the moment when the fight stopped looking competitive. Fulton was showing heart and determination, but Inoue had taken away too many options. The pressure never disappeared. The attacks never slowed down. And with every passing round, the finish felt closer and closer. The stoppage that shocked the division. Then came the moment that defined the entire fight. Naoya Inoue had been building pressure for round after round, and now Stephen Fulton was running out of ways to stop it. The finish was getting closer. Inoue sensed the opportunity and immediately increased the intensity. His punches were landing cleaner than ever. Fulton tried to defend himself and fight back, but the challenger's attack was relentless. Every exchange favored Inoue. Every combination pushed the champion closer to danger. The pressure that had been building throughout the fight finally reached its peak. Then, Inoue unleashed another devastating attack, and Fulton could no longer escape the momentum that had been working against him all night. The referee stepped in and stopped the fight. Just like that, it was over. One of the best champions in the division had been completely outclassed. Inoue didn't just win, he made a statement to the entire boxing world. And with that performance, he proved he belonged among boxing's very best. Before the fight, many people believed Stephen Fulton had the skills to stop Naoya Inoue's rise. He was considered one of the best champions in boxing. But Inoue delivered a performance that left no doubt. He controlled the fight, broke Fulton down, and finished the job in dominant fashion. That's why this night is still remembered today. Not just because Inoue won, but because he conquered another division and proved once again why they call him the Monster.